We're going to go ahead and get started with the presentation right now. And there's a lot of incredible things going on. If any of you, starkes Deutsch, vielen Dank. Just to let people know that in the chat box, I've got one person who's from Berlin, Germany. That's kind of a second home city for me. I was an exchange student when I was 16, went back again and again, and I just spent a week with my German host family. So I'm actually fluent in English and German and such. Now, throughout the presentation, I want your feedback, I want your questions, I want your comments. We got a lot of incredible things going on. Have any of you been following the news in the last day or two? We've got Prime Minister May in Britain that she called for early elections. So there's been some big movement going on. So we're going to be talking about that and some other things. So our presentation today, we're talking about the major Flaw concentrators. We're going to talk about some absolutely amazing gains that you can make in the Forex market. So with that, we're going to go ahead and get started. Now, with any type of investing, there is risk involved. Hopefully everybody understands it. There's always risk involved trading investments, including the Forex market. You should only trade what we call as risk capital, money that you could afford to lose. You always want to follow proper risk management, equity management. Now, we are not CTAs. We are not commodity trading analysts. We're going to teach you how to understand the markets, how to trade like a professional, okay? But you will have some losing trades along with the winning trades. So again, you need to understand the risks that are involved. Hopefully that makes sense for everybody here. As far as our agenda today, bottom line, I can go through what it says in the agenda, but the webinar really is for one reason, and that is to see if currency trading is for you, okay? Now, some of you can do it very part-time. Majority of people actually, practically everybody starts off doing it part-time. Some actually do it full-time. They make a full-time living of it. Maybe it's new for you, or maybe you've been looking at it for years. It just doesn't matter. Now, we want you to understand it's not for everyone, and that's okay. That's one of the reasons we're doing this presentation here, to have you a good understanding. I commend you on being here. I commend you on taking the time to find out more about it. I will not take your time for granted, and I greatly appreciate your time. Now, this is a live presentation. It is presently Wednesday morning. It is 10:30 or 10:31 a.m. Eastern time on the East Coast in Germany. Let's see, it would be 10:30. I think it would be 5:30 p.m. in the afternoon, Bernard. So hopefully that makes sense there. Grab a pen, grab a paper. You've got busy schedules. You're taking the time to be here. I want you to get the most out of this. There's going to be a lot of useful information. I'm going to try to do my best to repeat myself if you get questions, but do take notes and I'll give you that. Now, also, please write this down on your paper. Tonight, at 7 p.m. Eastern time, there is going to be a special session. I'm going to give the opportunity for some of you here to actually participate in this. Now, let me ask you this question, and if you wouldn't mind in the chat box, just say yes or me. Is there anyone here that would like to follow the trades of a 15-year Forex master trader? Meaning what he's doing, you can take the exact trades that he does. Is there anybody here that can hear me that would like to take advantage of that? Because if there is, good. I've got Elsie, thank you very much. Dolores, Curtis, yes, exactly. So if any of you like the thought of earning money while you can learn, we've got a special opportunity. Do stick around to the end of the presentation. I'm going to talk about that a little bit more. But during this presentation, we're going to be talking about opportunities. There's some really big ones going on right now with the British pound, the Great British Pound, just because of all the movements and everything else going on there. Colleen, thank you very much. Lasantha, thank you very much. Now, just briefly on myself, Renee did a little bit of it. I'm going to go through very quickly in my own background. I'm the youngest of 5 kids, and I grew up in a working class family. And the reason why I say that, I did not grow up in money. Neither of my parents went on to college. I just had, I basically pulled myself up from the bootstraps. And the reason I'm telling you this is you don't have to be special. You just have to be average, and you just have to put in the time to be successful, okay? There's no special background. There's no special upbringing that you have to have. Now, today I'm happily married. I'm a father. I've got a beautiful 9-year-old daughter. I consider myself an entrepreneur. I just don't like working for others. I just like having fun and doing things. Any other entrepreneurs here? If there are, just put yes or put an E in the chat box that you consider yourself an entrepreneur. Where any business owners? Again, just put biz or business owner so I know if we've got any business owners. Because if you have a little bit of an entrepreneur spirit, if you've ever been a business owner, if you've ever wanted to own your own business, this is an incredible opportunity for you to take advantage of it. Now, I consider myself a trainer, a speaker, a coach, a mentor. I like working with people, and I've worked with people from my daughter's school all the way to adults. I think the oldest student I've worked with has been in their 90s. So it doesn't really matter on that one, but I just like helping people reach their goals. I have served in the United States military. I served both in the infantry as well as military intelligence. Now, for many years, though, I've been absolutely fascinated with the financial market, stocks, bonds, investments, options, futures. I just call that. Is there anyone else here that has been fascinated with the markets, but they've struggled? Okay, just put a yes or put a me in the chat box if you would. You know, since I was 18, I've heard of the stock market, I've seen it, and I've tried different things, and I read books, and then I lost money, and then I got back into it, and I struggled. If there's anyone else there that's had that, you know, put in me too. Well, then finally, I got a proper education and I got a mentor. And I'm going to tell you something, having a mentor is the world to doing this. Because if you have a mentor, you can ask them questions. They can walk you through this. They can help guide you. And what you do is you limit your losses. That's part of our program here, is we teach you how to limit your losses, but to let your gains run. And you can do that. Now, today, I'm semi-retired, okay? And what I mean by that, this is all I do. I literally, this morning, I spent, actually today it was less than 30 minutes just looking at some trades and putting them on. And I write this down in your notes: set and forget. Set and forget. You find the trade, you set it, you put in your entry, you target your stop, and you forget it. You walk away and you enjoy your life. Is there anyone here that likes the thoughts of spending maybe 30 minutes a day looking for some potential trades, putting them on? We'll teach you how to do that, and just going on and enjoying life. Because that's what we're talking about. That's what I did this morning. I've got trades or potential trades set up right now. I don't have to watch them because we're protected. Now, I have a couple of passions. The reasons why I do this, why I trade, is I have passions. One is for my family. I just love my family. I love my daughter. I love my wife, and we do things. We love to travel. That's the second thing. In the last 12 months, I've taken 7 weeks of vacation. Went in the Grand Cayman Islands. Just got back from a week in Europe. Saw Netherlands and Germany. The tulips are blooming in Netherlands. Went to Myrtle Beach, went to Williamsburg, just all kinds of things. Is there anybody here that likes to travel? Is there anybody, and put travel if you do, is there anyone that likes the thought of being able to do something part-time, as long as you have access to a computer, you can do it anywhere in the world? Is there anybody here that likes the thought of learning a skill that you can do a short time each day and go out and enjoy life and maybe travel? Is there anyone that likes that? Good. Esther, Elena, yeah, Sherman, where do you want it? Okay, so I've got Sherman says she'd love to spend 3 months in Australia. Well, with this, you can do that, okay? And you can do that. So in essence, I consider myself just like many of you. The only advantage is I got that education, I got that mentor, so I already started the process, okay? Now let me do a little survey because I want to know where everybody's at as far as their Forex knowledge or trading. So I'm going to do a little survey. Let me ask you about your experience level on a scale of 1 to 10, where 10 is high and 1 is a beginner. Okay, what's your experience level, your knowledge level with the Forex market? And a 10 to me would be you're doing it full time, you're making over $250,000 a year, life is great. And a 1 would be, you know, you're just starting to learn it. Maybe you've never done a live trade, maybe you've done some presentations like this, but just on a scale of 1 to 10, where would you put yourself? So Ed, thank you. I see a lot of ones, good. I see a 4, okay, good, we've got that one. I think I've got that for a high. Elsie and Terrace Billy, thank you. So the majority of the scores that I'm seeing are kind of the 1, 1, 2, 3, and that's about right. We've typically found that about 70–75% of the people are really in that new category, and that's okay. Now, this is a zero-sum game. And what we mean for that, the losers in the Forex market pay the winners, okay? The losers pay the winners. And if you find yourself losing more often than you'd like, what you're doing is you're paying people who have more experience and more training than you do. So the only thing that separates you right now is the education, and what I call is that proper experience, is that mentorship, okay? And that's what we talk about. Now, I'd like to introduce you to somebody. His name is Jared Martinez. And Jared is the person who started this all up. But first off, a little bit about Jared. He's been doing this. He's been trading the Forex market now for over 30 years, okay? 30 years. Now, when he started, this is long before all the computers and the automation and all the tools, but he saw a pattern in how Forex, the currencies, were moving. And he did this the old-fashioned way with a ruler and measurements and a long hand. You don't have to do this. We have technology. But he saw something, okay? He saw something before on how that was doing it. And he started to have success. He saw a pattern and it recurred over and over again. So then he started to take some trades and he had success. And he got actually to be very, very successful. And then what he did is people saw he was being successful and they said, hey, could you teach us how to do that? And he said, sure. So he started with just a couple of people close to him. Well, they told their friends, and then before you know it, it was about 24 people that he was training, and then there was more and more people that wanted to do it. And then after that, he actually got the name of being the FX chief because he was really good at it. He went on to write some books. He's a best-selling author. He's been featured on numerous television programs, on business programs, and he just couldn't do it on his own anymore. He's actually earning over 2,000 pips a week. I'll talk about what that means in just a second, but he couldn't do this all by himself, so he created the company that where we are today. It's called MTI, Market Traders Institute. Now, on the left-hand side of the screen, hopefully you can see there's three big words. It says education, software, and mentorship. Can everyone see that? Let me know if you can see that. Can you see where it says education, software, and mentorship? Just put a yes in the chat box if you can. That'd be great. So what MTI does is we've been doing this now for 23 years. With this week, we are celebrating our 23rd anniversary. We have a lot of existing students that are at our corporate headquarters. You can see a picture there in the background. We're doing some special training, some celebrations. We're based out of Orlando, but we're a global international company. We have students in over 50 countries worldwide. To date, we have over 33,000 students. It is absolutely amazing. And down on the bottom of the screen, hopefully you see something, our logo, our motto: we never leave a client behind. Now, imagine if you decide to move forward and you see this, that we're going to work with you and work with you and work with you. We're never going to leave you behind. That's kind of what our motto is. We actually offer a 24-hour-a-day trading room, okay? We offer all kinds of education. We offer the best software out there. I'm going to show you that in a little bit. And mentorship, you don't understand how important it is until you have it, but we're going to teach you. We're going to literally hold your hand until you have successful, and we're still not going to quit, okay? So that's a little bit about MTI. And it's not just us. Have any of you watched Shark Tank? And if you've been watching for a while, when Shark Tank first started, this is one of the original sharks, Kevin Harrington. Kevin Harrington. Have any of you ever heard of him? Because if you watch the Shark Tank, you definitely should have. He is an original shark from the Shark Tank. And he has identified Forex investing as a great opportunity. And he himself is worth over $450 million. He's an entrepreneur, and he's now partnering with MTI. And one way that I like to say, if it's good enough for Kevin, it's good enough for us. And he's actually in our office right now this week. He's doing a special training session with our people. So if any of you like to meet him, you know, I can't say you can get in this week, but we're going to have some other opportunities there as well. So here's my promise to you, okay? This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. If anyone told you that, just walk away. This is a skill set. This is something that you can teach. We can teach you, that you learn, but once you learn it, you can repeat it over and over and over again. I want to talk about riding a bike. Now, I don't know if you can remember, some people learned riding a bike really easy. My daughter, it was difficult, but once she got it, she could do it over and over again. So it's kind of like that. You need to learn the skill set, but then you can do it over and over again. And if you can lose this, if you could see yourself doing this, in my opinion, you're on your way to financial independence. And to me, that means that you can do what you want, where you want, when you want, with whom you want. So my promise for you is by the end of this presentation that I'm doing right here, you're going to understand the full potential in the Forex market, and you're going to see that it's something that you can do part-time, okay? And we honestly, I'm going to be so bold that we believe that if you cannot learn this from MTI, you will not be able to learn it from anyone else in the world. So when I go through the presentation, I think you're going to see a little bit why. Okay, so let's just talk about the Forex market. The majority of the people here, we're brand new, so this should be good information. If we do have any veterans, I'd ask, give me 5 minutes. I'm just going to cover just a little bit of basic information. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through a couple of strategies to show you already how you can start to learn to take advantage of the Forex market. So just bear with me a couple minutes, and then I'm going to go into my live charts, and I'm going to show you how it really works. So what is the Forex market? Well, Forex actually stands for foreign exchange, and they just took the first two or three letters and called it Forex or Forex. So the foreign exchange. And all it is the exchanging of one currency for another, okay? Now, I talked about that. I recently traveled over to Europe. So for example, I had US dollars and I had to exchange those for euros. That's Forex. That's it. That's all it is trading one currency for another. Well, then when I came back home, I didn't spend all the euros. So then I exchanged the euros back for US dollars, okay? So that's it. That's all the Forex market is. And the Forex trades the fluctuations of the exchange rate between two currencies. In the chat box, have any of you ever traveled to the same place more than once where you had to exchange money, but you noticed the exchange rate was different? Because that's it. That's all we're talking about. And right now, with what's called Brexit and Great Britain, what they're doing, they're creating absolutely amazing opportunities. If you like the thought of taking advantage of what's going on right now, that's the potential that we're talking about. And when you do trade Forex, you always trade two currencies. We call it a pair, like the Euro US dollar or the US dollar Japanese yen, okay? And in fact, most of you are probably aware. See if you've heard of this. Put yes if you've heard any of these currencies before. There's many currencies out there, but there's only 7 major currencies that we actually trade. We want to make sure they're big enough, they're stable enough, politically correct, or politically big enough to handle any type of that one. But we've got the US dollar, the Canadian dollar, the euro, the British pound, the Japanese yen, the Swiss franc, the Australian dollar. We call it the Aussie. Oh, one more. And then we have the New Zealand dollar. Sometimes you've heard it called the Kiwi. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, excuse me, 8. So there's 8 major currencies that we trade. Okay, and I'm sure most of you, if not all of you, you've heard of these currencies. So these shouldn't be foreign. But if you traveled from the US to New Zealand, you would exchange US dollars for New Zealand dollars. And that's what we're talking about here. Now, there's 4 major reasons to trade the Forex market, okay? Now, the first one is called liquidity. And what that means is there's always buyers and always sellers. Has anyone here ever purchased real estate and then you try to sell it and it would not sell right away? Put a yes or real estate in the chat box if that's ever happened to you. That will never happen in the Forex market because there's always buyers and always the sellers. There's just so many of them. So liquidity is just a fancy word that means you can enter and exit the market anytime you want, and it's very important. We want to be able to get in and out anytime we want. The next major reason is size. The Forex market actually trades over $5 trillion a day. $5 trillion. There's actually more volume in the Forex market than all the other markets in the world combined. So that means there's plenty of size, there's plenty of volume, okay? You don't have to worry about that. It does more volume in a day than the New York Stock Exchange does in a year, okay? Next one is focus. Now, some of you maybe have looked at other investments as well. I know in the past I've looked at stocks, but when I take a look at them, like even today, I heard about, you know, this company and Netflix and Amazon, but then you have McDonald's and you kept on going on, and you find out there's over 5,000 companies out there, and it's really hard to get to know what's going on, and they have their announcements. So it's hard to stay focused. With the currencies market, with the Forex market, first off, there's only 60 currency pairs total out there, and quite frankly, the majority of them we wouldn't trade because they're too small. There's only about 20 pairs, so 20 in a sense, 20 items that we look at, and quite frankly, on any given week, we only look at about 5 or 6 of them. Is there anyone here that likes the idea of not having to learn thousands of companies, but maybe just to get to know 5 or 6 really, really good? Is anybody that likes that? Because that's what we're talking about, focus. It's easy to learn them. It's not that complicated. And then the last reason, thank you, Adela and Roland. Yeah, exactly. It just, stocks can be very confusing because of all the different variations. I've got that one. And the last item here is flexibility. And for me personally, I think flexibility is really the most important one, because first off, it trades 24 hours a day from Sunday afternoon 5 p.m. to Friday afternoon 5 p.m. non-stop. Okay, and what that means, it doesn't matter what your schedule is. It doesn't matter if you work first shift, second shift, third shift. We have a lot of people, they work the second shift. I've got one person, his name is Patrick. He gets home at about 1 in the morning. He gets in at 1 in the morning, and then he's wired. He can't go to sleep. So he looks for his pairs about 30 minutes. He puts on his trades and he goes to sleep. And then when he wakes up, guess what? He found out he's made a bunch of money. Anybody like the idea of it? And I just want to do a sound check again real quick. Make sure you can still hear me. Okay, just put yes or sounds good. Want to make sure everybody can hear me good. I had 1 or 2 people just asking about that one. So along with the flexibility, there are no day trading restrictions, okay? In stocks in the United States, unless you have special permission and certain aspects, you can't trade more than like 3 times in a 5-day time frame. It's really frustrating. Well, with the Forex market, you never have to worry about that one. Also, you can be in a trade for any length of time. You could be in for 5 hours, you could be in for 5 minutes, you could be in for 30 seconds if you want. Most of us don't trade that short term, but you can decide what you want to be in how long you want to be into it, okay? Another reason is you can open just practically any size account. You can actually open up a full-fledged normal Forex account for as little as $500. We've had some people, though, actually start with an account with 0. You can actually open up an account with 0 in it, and it's called paper trading until you get good, and then you put money in it. We had one person who had plenty of money, and we told them, don't put all that in there. You don't need to start off that large. It's very easy to ramp up. So you can ramp up from a small size. As you get more comfortable, as you get more confident of it, you can start trading larger and larger. We call them lot sizes. Think of like share sizes, okay? And it can provide you daily income. It can provide you weekly income. It can provide you monthly as well as long-term income. And in the US, it's tax advantage. Is there anyone here that would like to be able to learn how to make a bunch of money in the Forex market and pay less taxes on it than in your ordinary job? Is there anybody here that likes that concept? Yep, Josephina, Terrence, Bill, yes, exactly. Anybody else like that concept? Because that's what you can do here. And also you can trade in retirement accounts in the United States. Okay, different countries have some different rules. So bottom line, the Forex market offers incredible flexibility, but bottom line, it offers you just huge potential. Okay, now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to shift gears. I'm going to open up some charts. Okay, so this one I just want to make sure I'm going to open up my charts and see if that shows up. Okay, so now can everybody see my charts? Okay, can you see my charts? So just put a yes in the chat box. Let me just go back here. I'm going to go to this one right here. Good. So I've got yes. So good. Roland, Loretta. So right here, an example. If you take a look at the charts, you're going to notice this is like 6 different pairs right now. And if you notice how they're either trending up or trending down, okay? And that is very typical. That is very typical of what goes on in the Forex market. It doesn't go sideways. It generally moves in what we call is waves, okay? And I'm going to pick on this first one. So I don't know if you can see the GBPUSD. I'm just going to go into that one. And hopefully right now, you can see something that's called the British pound and the US dollar, okay? Does everybody see that? And I'm going to just kind of show you right here. So this is the British pound, Great Britain pound, and the US dollar. And then right here, it says 1 hour, okay? So hopefully you can see that. And I want you to notice, does everybody see how it kind of follows, you know, in trends, but it kind of follows this trend line? Does everybody see that, kind of follow that? So an example would be every time it comes up close to this line, it gives us kind of a sell signal, okay? And then there's a reversal, and then it does it on the way up as well. And it gives us these beautiful opportunities to take advantage. Does everybody see that? Okay, so what our job is to capture pips, okay? And people always ask, well, what does PIP stand for? It stands for price, interest, point. You're never going to be asked this on a quiz, but if you ever want to have something fun or friendly with people, you could just go ahead and do this. So our job is to capture pips. That's a unit of measurement in the Forex market. And we're going to see that it does it in these different ways, okay? Hopefully that part makes sense for everybody so far. So what I'm going to do, too, is I want to explain something. I'm just going to clear my screen, okay? And I'm going to go in a little bit closer. And I'm just going to focus in. It doesn't matter. I can focus in on any part of this. but I just want to kind of show you how this looks. Now, with this software program, it's incredibly powerful. You can do things. Each one of these bars, it's called a candlestick. Has anybody ever learned or heard or studied the term Japanese candlestick? If you have, just put candle in the chat box if you've ever heard of it, the term before, or if you've started to study it. So each one of these bars is what's called a Japanese candlestick. And the white ones are when it goes up. The dark blue ones are when it goes down. So that means it went down in price. So an example, if you can see my cursor, well, let me just, I'm going to do this. So to begin with, I'm going to focus in on this one right here. Does everybody see this red highlighted one? Now, if I click on it, on the right-hand side, a box will come up and it says open. So that's the price that it opened up with. It tells me the high, it tells me the low, and it tells me the close as well. But I don't have to do that. And people say, what exactly does that number relate to? Well, here on the right-hand side, right here, 1.22. Here on the right side, maybe hopefully you see this, 1.22. So it would take 1.22 US dollars to buy 1 British pound. That's all it means. And another way of looking at it is right here on this white one that I just highlighted, right here in the bottom left. This is where it opened. It went up to a high right there. It went to a low, this wick low right there, okay? And then it closed right there. Hopefully everybody sees that. And if we want to talk about like this blue one right here, it went down. So it opened up here. It went down to this wick low here, up to this wick high, and it closed down here. So that's all that is, okay? That's all that is. Now I've got Sherman who's asking me about the charts right here, okay? This is called the Ultimate Charting Software, and it is a proprietary trading software that we make available to our students. And along with being very powerful and being able to do many things with it, I just want to highlight it. You have tools here on the left and the top. Down here on the bottom is time, but you can do really neat things on here. For example, let's just say you see this trend, and you said when it breaks this trend, you'd like to enter the trade. Well, you could sit here on the computer all day long and wait for that to happen, or I'm just going to right click on this and it says add alert. Can everybody see this box? Put alert in the chat box if you can see it. So let's say in the morning you see a potential trade. We like things to break trend lines, and you see this trend line that I'm showing right here. Okay, let's say to the right of it hasn't happened yet, and you say if it breaks that, I'd like it to let me know. So what you would do is you can actually set an alert where it can send you an email, it can send you a text. You could actually set it to, once it happens, to put on the trade automatically. So there's a lot of automation capability in here. So Timothy, yep, thank you very much. Elena, good. So again, if you can see that. Also, up here on the top, hopefully you can see something that's called workspaces. And right below workspaces, you're going to see something that says open expert workspaces, okay? Is there anyone here that would love the idea to trade with a Forex expert and just follow what they do, just to take their trades, meaning they're going to mark up the charts, they're going to set up the trades, and you can just copy what they do. Put me, if you like that thought, if you like that concept, because here's what you can do. You just click this, and you're going to see these are many of our experts. We've got Tad, we've got Gary, we've got Joshua, we've got, look at all these different type of trades that they're doing. Joshua's right there. Tyson, okay? Let me just take a look at one of the trades that he does. All I have to do is hit open, and it's already going to open up Tyson's platform that he did. He saved this, and now you can trade just like Tyson. So Tyson is he's a 17-year trading expert. He knows how to do this. He's making thousands upon thousands of pips, and now you can get his charts. We do live presentations, live trading sessions where you can follow along, but even if you can't, you can get his charts. I'm going to do another one. And right now we have some absolutely amazing opportunities going on with the Brexit, okay, with this new vote that's going on. So again, you can just follow that. Let me go back to where I was. I think I was right here, okay? So there's just so many very, very powerful different opportunities that you can do. I haven't even showed you. Up here on the left, you have the different pairs. You can turn this into a 5-minute chart if you want. You could turn it into a daily chart. There's different ways how you can look at this. So it's just a very skill set. I've got Jan asked me, is there a cost with this charting software? Yes and no. The cost of the software, it is regularly $249 per month, but for new people that enroll for MTI, for new students of MTI, we actually give it to you for 6 months. Now, we are not a brokerage firm, okay? So you do not give us your money from your brokerage account, but your brokerage account will link up directly with this platform. So it actually gives you the opportunity to trade from this platform, but through your brokerage. Does that make sense? Put yes if what I just said. So you can continue to have your account wherever you want, but you can link it up with here, so you can use these charts, you can use this software, and you can go through that. Does that make sense? So Clayton, Toby, Ronnie, thank you very much for putting in there, okay? So let me just show you an example. I think I'm gonna go to, what do I wanna look at? I think I'm gonna look at like the Australian dollar, Canadian dollar, okay? Because this is something that I found earlier before. After a while, you get a habit of knowing what's out there and you start to take a look at it, okay? So now I'm gonna go through in a little bit and explain the strategies of how we found this, but just bear with me right now. I wanna show you an example. So we see right here, you can probably see that we had, this went down, and then if you look at it, a secondary trading line, we can see that a lot of neat things have happened, and we broke this trend line and we have a reversal, okay? So I'm just gonna get rid of that. So we look at this. So let's just say we saw this, we got into it, and we would have gotten into it right here. So I've got this line right here. So this would be where we would enter it, okay? And then looking at some of the past, what's going on, again, we would teach you how to do this. Our exit would be approximately right there, okay? So our exit, actually we hit it right there, okay? So we would have hit our first exit, okay? Hopefully you can see this. So what are we talking about as far as time and potential? So I've got a ruler on here, and I'm just gonna show you that I'm gonna go here and I'm able to measure this, okay? Now, in the top left-hand corner, you should hopefully see, I call it a box, but it's like 4 different lines of script. Can everybody see this? Put box, if you can see where it says it. It says range in pips, 141, bars, 28. Can you see that? So it says range pips, 141, bars, 28. Well, each one of these bars, because this is a 1 hour chart, each bar represents 1 hour. So 28 bars means it is 28 hours. So let me write this down. Otherwise, I'm not great at memory. So this is 141. So this is 141 pips in 28 hours. Okay. So this is a potential trade that I just want to show you and that I want to talk about. So we can get into that. 28 hours, a little bit over a day. So let's say this morning you saw the trade, you got into it, you put the set and forget, and then tomorrow at 12 noon you get out of the trade. So this is an example of generating 141 pips. So what is that? Let me go back to my slides, see if I can get back to my slide deck. Okay, can everybody let me know if my PowerPoint, it should say leverage equals buying power. Leverage equals buying power. Can everybody see that? Okay, so what this is we're going to talk about what a pip is and what a pip means. There's different size lot sizes. Just like in stocks, you could trade 1 share or 10 shares or 100 shares. We have that opportunity with the Forex market as well, but we call them lots. There's something called a micro lot that's very small. Then something called a mini lot that'd be 10 times larger, but it's a little bit larger. And then something called a standard lot. I'd like you to write this down on your paper if you could, okay? Micro lot, mini lot, standard lot. Does everybody see that? If you could write that down, that'd be great, okay? Now, for a micro lot, it only takes a $20 investment in order to trade a micro lot. So is $20 a lot of money? No, it isn't. But that gives you an idea of the flexibility that we're talking about. You can start with a very, very, very small trading account and start to learn this. Now, a mini lot, for every mini lot is a $200. So all it means is $200. It's not a cost, it's just to hold it. I'll explain this in a moment. And then a standard lot is a $2,000 investment. Now, if you want to know, a micro lot is one size, a mini lot is 10 times larger than a micro lot, a standard lot is 10 times larger than a mini lot. But this is the most important part. On a micro lot, for every pip of movement, it's the equivalent of 10 cents. Right now, I'm talking about US dollars, okay? If you're in a different country, you would probably trade it in your currency. But on the US market, every pip of movement is 10 cents. So that example that we did before, it was 141 pips. So 141 pips times 10 cents, that's $14.10 in a little over a day. Now, is that huge money? No. But you're learning a skill set. You're starting to see the success. You're starting to gain the confidence of how this works. And it doesn't take a lot to start taking trades in the real life market. But let's talk a mini lot, okay? In a mini lot, every pip is the equivalent, every pip of movement is worth $1. And let me give you an example on our trade. So we earned 141 pips times $1, that'd be $141 of profit in 28 hours. Let me walk you through this one because this is important. I want to make sure that you understand this. So you would put up $200, okay? That your brokerage firm would just hold on to that. You would then trade that pair, the example that we did. 28 hours later, you got out. You probably did a set and forget. And what happens is they're going to give you that $200 investment back that was just to hold it, and you now make $141. It's $1 times the 141 pips that you make. Does that make sense? Is everybody tracking? Okay. And the reason why this is important is, did you do anything differently trading a mini lot than you did a micro lot? And the answer is no, you didn't. The only difference is you have more confidence. Okay. So is this beginning to make sense? You can start off really small and gradually increase your trade size as you get more confident. Give me a yes or me if this makes sense, please, in the chat box. Give me a yes or me. And then with a standard lot, every pip of movement is worth $10. So doing the exact same trade, you generated 141 pips times the $10. Now you made $1,410 in 28 hours, in a little over a day. Is that beginning to make sense? Can you see why people are so excited about the Forex market? You can start this with really small accounts. You get confident. You do the same exact thing, but you just get more confident and you're able to do a larger lot sizes and generate more profits, okay? So good. Carol, Philippi, Anita, thank you. So I'm glad you've got that. So as I shift gears, what I want you to do is I want you to write down on your paper how much money you would need to make on average each month from the Forex market in order to accomplish your financial goals, okay? Now if you want to put it in the chat box, feel free. I see some of you doing that. But I want you, each of you, I want you to go through this. What do you need from the Forex market? How much is it you're looking to generate extra every month from the Forex market? So I've got some numbers coming in. I see $1,500. I've got $5,000. I see 15,000 euros. Thank you very much, okay? Everyone has a different number, okay? And it just seems on average, you know, most people are in the $2,000 to $8,000 range. So Martin, thank you very much. I'm going to massacre Belly. I apologize for massacring the names. Good, I'm seeing the numbers. It makes sense. So I want to let you know that to all the numbers I'm seeing, it's very doable. It's very doable. This is a skill set. Again, it's like riding a bike. Once you know how to do it, you just get more confident and you're able to trade with the larger share sizes. Now, let me ask you this question. This is an important question, okay? And I want all of you to answer yes or no. If you haven't answered anything yet in the chat box, I want you all to answer this question. If we can show you a couple of basic strategies where you can consistently make anywhere from $2,000 to $8,000 per month, month after month, in your free time without quitting your job, so without turning your world upside down, if we can show you how to generate an extra $2,000 to $8,000 a month, very part-time, would you be willing to set aside 30 to 45 minutes a day to master this? If you wouldn't mind, answer yes or no, because I just want to make sure if I'm dealing, you know, with the right audience. Okay. So Josephina, thank you. Yes. Terrence, I've got you. Billy, I've got you. Jan, thank you. Stanley, Diane, thank you. So that's the kind of potential that we're talking about here. Okay. So yes, James, I've got people saying yes, they're eager. They're eager to get started. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Now, you can absolutely make that kind of money in this market, okay? Now, I'm gonna shift gears. I'm a little bit behind time, but for those of you that are truly serious about taking your trading to the next level, or about getting educated, or about getting mentored in the Forex market, and you'd like to talk to someone about potentially doing that here, could you do me a favor? In the chat box, could you please type in your telephone number, okay? So let me kind of say this again, okay? If you'd like, if it's something you're interested in doing, taking it to the next level, about generating that kind of income, about understanding how this works, okay? Type in your number on the right, and here's what's going to happen. And please just do that if you're serious. But along with your telephone number, what I'd like you to do is also put in a little bit, just a short line about what you're looking for. Is it that you're looking for more education, or the education on learning how to do this? Or, hey, I really like that software program. Can you tell me more about that? Or Steve, earlier you talked about the mentorship. You know, that's something that I'm interested in. You can just put mentor. So you can put your telephone number and like education, or telephone number and software, or telephone number and mentorship. So Wendell, thank you, I've got you. Heather, Lila, Barbara, Rosie, thank you, good. Sonia, Dominic, good, thank you for that one. And I've got some other questions talking about what it takes to be a student. Very good questions. I'm going to be going through that a little bit later. By putting in your telephone number, what's going to happen is I'm going to have somebody follow up with you individually, one-on-one, to get to know you better, where you've been, and what you want to do. We want to know what your goals are. We want to know what your needs are. We're going to answer your questions, because I want to be clear. This is not for everybody. And sometimes when we talk to people, they have very unrealistic goals, and our goal is not to kill any goals, but we want to make sure that you have a clear understanding of what this is about, okay? So if you're serious about learning more, about earning that kind of income, about learning that skill set, put that. So Jan, I've got you. Lindsay, thank you, I've got you, okay? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move on to the life charts. And if you do have questions, I've got some of you. So Mart, I do have your questions. I am going to cover that in just a moment, okay? So whatever your questions are, if you put it in, during the presentation, I'm going to do my best to answer them here during this. If it's a little bit more longer, a little bit more complicated, either I or somebody else will follow up with you. That's another reason for the telephone number, is we can reach out to you and answer your questions. But whatever the question is, we're definitely going to follow up with you. Good. Ken, I've got the best time to call you. That's also very nice if you can do that. Okay. So good. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back to my live charts. Okay. Let me go back here. Okay. Hopefully, I want to make sure, does everybody see my charts again? I want to make sure we've got that one. So let me just kind of go back. We talked about, you know, you can have lots of different pairs, you can look at things, but on any given day, any given week, we usually look at just a few of them, okay? So what I want to do is, good, Jack, I've got you. Ken, I've got you. James, I've got you. I've got your phone number, good. Lasantha, I've got your phone number, thank you, I've got that. So within the market, let me just clean this up. You're going to look at this. This right here is called the Euro Japanese Yen. And when we look at the market, you're going to notice that it has a tendency to move in waves, okay? So on my screen, hopefully you can see that it does this. Does everybody kind of see how it does it? Now, sometimes they're longer waves, sometimes they're shorter, but the market really does seem to go in these waves, okay? And I'm not drawing these perfectly, I'm just trying to illustrate, but does everybody kind of see how these waves work? It really does work in this wave pattern. Okay, and I'm doing this really quick right here, okay? But does everybody see that? So what our job is to do, and then here we have, could be a reversal. So basically, there's three things that you want to learn, okay? One of them is, where is the market going, okay? Where is the market going? So with that, we mean direction. The second item, where to get in. And the third one is, where to get out. Okay, so many times people understand how to get in, but they don't know yet where to get out. Okay, so first off, as far as where, what direction is the market going, I'm just going to do a basic trend line. And does everybody kind of see this trend line right here? Okay, so this is trending down during this time frame. So the trend line, the major trend line, is really going to walk us through and have us understand how to do this. Okay, now what I'm going to do, let's see if I've got it up here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move my screen way down, okay? Hopefully I won't completely mess everybody up. And I want to show you, I'm going to be now answering the questions where to get in and where to get out. Now, as I kind of talked about, the market does have a tendency to follow this wave pattern, okay? Market goes up, takes a breather, goes up, takes a breather, goes up, and then it reverses, goes down. So so it's got a lower high, lower lows, lower high, lower lows, and lower high. Does everybody see this so far on my screen where I've got it kind of looks like a mountain. Does that make sense for everybody? Just put mountain if you see a mountain on my screen. So this is just simulated. What I'm going to do too, I want everybody to understand, I'm going to go slow right here, and I'm going to have you understand, I'm going to build out our basic trading strategy. I'm going to show you on this, and then I'm going to go to the live market and show you some real live examples. Okay, is that fair enough? So what we do is we look at this wave pattern. And does everybody see, like right down here, this is kind of the low right here, and this is the new higher high. Does everybody see that so far? So that's where I'm going to be focusing in on, and I'm going to just try to scale in a little bit better on just that spot right there. Okay, so right there. Okay, good. So at the bottom where there's a reversal, we call that spot down there A. Okay, that's just how we designate. I'm gonna give you something called A, B, C, D. So we have this new high right here. We're gonna designate that B. And just so you know, where it comes down here, this is called right here where it goes down, takes that little dip right there. That's where it comes back down to. But this area right here, the AB, is very important. We use something called Fibonacci. Okay. Now we have a tool on here. I'm gonna go into here. Oh, somebody's asking me about Fibonacci. Okay, let me do this. I'm going to go to, let me just show you Fibonacci. I'm going to just Google it, okay? I'm going to Google, put Fib, just put F-I-B, Fib in the chat box. If you can see, I went to Google, and all I did is I just Googled Fibonacci. So just put a Fib, if you can see that. Leonardo Fibonacci was a 12th century mathematician. He was based out of Italy, and that's irrelevant. You don't have to be a mathematician to do this. But what he saw is that there was a natural pattern in nature, in the world, in the body, and everything out there, that this system, this pattern repeated itself over and over again. And you can find it in nature. You can find it in shells. You can find it on a pineapple. You can find it in pine cones. But it's these numbers, this system, and you can look at some circles on it. Even a hurricane repeats itself. If you want to look at the human body, the ratio from the nose to the forehead and the chin to the top of the forehead and the whole ear pattern, everything is based on this repeatable Fibonacci wave pattern. And what he did is he mastered it, and that's all we do. So I'm going to try to go back to my charts, okay? So we use this repeatable Fibonacci wave pattern. It's called the golden ratio. Write this down in your notes if you would, golden ratio. And with that golden ratio, we are able to trade. So at the bottom of this trend right here, I just put my cursor, and at the bottom on this B, where it is, I'm gonna go click. And what I did using automation is I've got this Fibonacci wave pattern. Okay, hopefully everybody can see that so far. Does everybody see that? Okay. So with this, what we can do though is we're able to find trades. We're able to find entry points on this. I'm just going to move this over, give us a little bit more room. So here's what we do. We're going to see this retracement. We went to A to B, that was the new high, then it retraced down to C. And you see where C is, that's the retracement. We're able to measure that. We're able to take a look at it, and depending on how low, how deep the retracement goes will tell us where the market is going. For example, okay, in this area right here, this is what we call is the red zone. And I'm just going to change this, and I'm going to make it red. Okay, so that area is right there. The next retracement area is right below here. This is the blue zone, and I'm going to make that blue. And then the last retracement zone is down here. This is the green zone. Okay, this is green. Can everybody see that so far? So you should see red, blue, and green. Just put colors if you can see the different colors. So the way this works is if everybody sees this C, this BC, this line right here. So let's say the market stops and it reverses somewhere in this red zone. Okay, does everybody see that? So regardless of where it is, if it stops and reverses anywhere in this red zone, then we expect the market to retrace up. Does everybody see this red line above? We expect the market to hit that. It could exceed it, but we expect it to go up there for sure. Okay, so that's how that works. And if, for example, though, instead, the retracement comes down to this blue zone, okay? It goes down to this blue zone, then we would expect it to extend up. Everybody see this blue line up here, okay? So we would expect it to extend up to that blue line. And then the third category would be if it in fact goes down to the green zone, we would expect it to go up to this green line. So what I'm going to type here, let me just try to type this. So if it retraces into the red zone, if I can spell red zone, we expect it to go up to the red line above, okay? If it goes down to the blue zone, then we expect it to go to the blue line above. And if it goes down to the green zone below, we expect it to go to the green line above, okay? Now, on a score of 1 to 100, 100 be, I got this, I understand this. And 1 would be, I don't understand it at all. In the chat box, could you just put in your number of understanding? So basically, what I'm asking for is this retracement. Does everybody understand? If it comes into this red zone and then reverses, we expect it to go to this red line. Does that make sense? That's all I'm talking about. And if it goes down to this blue zone, we expect it to go up to this blue line. And if it goes down to this green line, we expect it to go there. Does everybody see that so far? That's the basics. Okay, this is so far. If you've got it, good. I've got some responses coming in. So again, give me your score on 1 to 100. Not saying that you'd have to tell this to somebody else, but just that you see it, that you understand it. So Lasantha, again, thank you very much. So this is what we're saying right here is we expect, in this one, it went down in this C zone, it went into the red. So we would expect that it's gonna come up to this level right here, okay? We expect it to go up there. And that's the area that we're expecting to get to, okay? And I can put in a little line right here. I'll make it green just to kind of show you what we think. We think it's gonna go to that line, okay? So that's gonna be our target, okay? Now, let's just say for illustration purposes, this is our target, okay? And let's just say that this is 150 pips away, okay? So now if you want to, okay, so that's 150 pips away. If you are trading a standard lot, we're talking about $1,500 of profit, but I'm not going to talk about that yet. We're talking about 150 pips of profit, okay? So good. Neaton, thank you very much. I've got that one. So this is our target up here. Now, first off, we would never enter a trade without knowing a bunch of things, okay? First thing I want to do is, I've had some people say, how do I know that? Where did I get this information? For anyone that sees this, for anyone that's interested in taking their education to the next level, we offer some amazing, the best training in the world to teach all this. Now, understand what I just showed you, I probably covered about 2 hours of training in 5 minutes. So if you already understand the basics, you're gonna get this, okay? But we have full-fledged training. We have live training, and we also have a Forex online university to teach you the basics, because we just feel it's the basics. So here's an example of some of the lessons planned. What is the Forex market? Understanding support and resistance. This is lesson 3, is very important. The Fibonacci numbers, the numerical sequence, and how to form the ABCDs. It's very important that you understand that. And what I like about this one is you can watch this as often as you want. You do it at your own pace. You can do it at 2 in the afternoon, 2 in the morning. You can stop, repeat. And if you didn't understand the lesson, you can go back and watch it again. So you're going to understand the basics first off. It's not just this. I want you to understand there's a lot of live training, but this is an example. And then you've been hearing me talk about retracements and extensions, okay? I covered this really quickly, but we gonna go in depth in that one, and you're gonna understand how to do it in an uptrend as well as a downtrend. Equity management. This is the risk management we're talking about. You do not want to get into trades that you put in too much capital. You want to make sure you do it in a proper fashion. We teach you. This lesson right here, Japanese candlesticks. Now, You do not have to understand every single type of Japanese candlestick formation or pattern. Is there anyone here that has ever studied Japanese candlestick patterns? If there is, put me in the chat box, because I can tell you, I've tried to study them and I can't memorize them. That's okay. The software does it for you, but you just need to have a basic understanding of it. We teach you that. Trading consolidation, okay, and trading fundamental announcements. The announcements so often are key for big moves and reversals. Just like yesterday, I believe it was yesterday or the day before, depending on what time zone you're in, Prime Minister May in Britain announced we're going to do elections. Okay, that was a big announcement. Okay, so that's going to change things. How to do it. And reversals, we look for reversals. So we're going to teach you how to do this. So within this, when we're looking at it up here, I'm going to just highlight something. This is what's called the Japanese candlestick patterns or formations. Okay, people have been asking, how do I know when to get in or where to get in? Okay, I'm going to go do this just very quickly right here. Basically, we see this trend right here that it broke. Okay, hopefully, again, if you get just 20% of this, you're good to go. So we have this trend and it broke and it crossed over. Then what we're going to do is somewhere in this area, we're going to be looking for one of the Japanese candlestick patterns, and when it happens, we're going to get in. And again, you don't have to memorize them. The software is going to help us for that. Okay, hopefully that part makes sense so far. So let me just clean this up just a little. Okay, so basically we're saying we've got a target right here of 150 pips. Okay, we got in somewhere down here in this orange area right here where you see it down here. Now, we don't take the trade yet. We still have to know, we're going to get in here and we want it to go up to the target area. But what if it doesn't? Well, now we have to start talking about risk. And every time we get into something, we are always going to have a stop. That means, what if the trade doesn't work in our favor? What are we going to do? Well, there's a couple of different ways how you can set a stop, okay? And it just depends on if you are aggressive or if you're conservative. In the chat box, if you wouldn't mind, put in if you're an aggressive trader or if you are a conservative trader. If you wouldn't mind, put it in there. Just put in the chat box conservative or aggressive for what kind of trader that you typically are. So an example would be, if you are an aggressive trader, you would put your risk, you would put your stop 5 to 10 pips below this reversal down here. If you're actually more conservative, you would actually put it down here below this A. And the reason being is as follows. We've got something, and let me just type this out for you. So as long as the market does not take out the A, the market has no choice but to go your way, okay? So there's a couple of different strategies, but let's just say that you look on this, and in this trade, you're going to risk 50 pips, okay? 50 pips. Does everybody see that? And I'm going to put it, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to carry it up here just to show you what we're looking for. So our target is 150 pips. Our risk is 50 pips. Does anybody understand something called reward to risk ratio? Go R to R, or just put R in the chat box if you've ever heard of the concept before. You never want to take a trade unless you clearly understand your exits and your profit potential. But we recommend, I personally will never take a trade unless the reward is at least 2 times higher than what I'm risking. Now in this example, it is a 3 to 1, and you will find 2.5 to 1, 3 to 1, 4 to 1. So what the goal is that when you win big. Does that make sense for everybody? When you win big. But when it goes against you, you lose just a small, okay? Now, Mason, and I've got something, hey, I try to do this, but it doesn't work out that way. And part of that is not having a proper foundation. Everything we do, write this down in your notes, is based on a rules-based strategy, okay? Everything we teach is a rules-based strategy. If you follow the rules, you will lose small amounts on the losing trades, and you will win big amounts on the big trades. Okay, is everybody with me so far? Hopefully, do you understand this concept? So what I'm going to try to do right now is, hopefully you saw this. So here's what happens. We got in where it says B down here. I'm going to, right here, we got in here, and then we got out right up here. I'm just going to do another circle. So we got out right here. And in our example, we made the 150 pips. At this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean up my charts. Okay, the previous Fibonacci no longer is pertinent. Okay, we got out of the trade. Okay, that old trade is no longer pertinent. Okay, we now have a new A and a new B, and this is how it works. Does everybody see the C right here? Well, guess what? That now becomes our new A. Okay, sorry, I'm just trying to clean this up at the same time that I'm talking. So this now becomes our new A, and this new high up here, this becomes our new B. Okay, so I'm just going to clean up this other stuff, because this is what you would do. In the real world, it does it automatically. I'm doing this all manually for you right now, but I want to let you know that we would use technology. Okay, so now I'm going to just try to pull this down and show you the next example. Okay, so we now have our new AB. We would put on the Fibonacci again, and we'd put it onto this new one, and we would do it again. And then we would get in and we would get out. And then once that trade hits and we get out of it, we would do it again. Okay, and again, we would let the technology do it, but we have it again. And I've got Ray asked me, hey, does this work on the way down as well? And the answer is yes. Okay, so now we have a reversal up here, so we're able to use the Fibonacci on the way down right here. And again, we do it. And then we have the reversal and the extension, we do it again. And you're gonna find, and it's not always perfect, you're gonna have losses. I wanna be clear about that. Well, not every trade is gonna be a winner, but with time and experience, you're gonna see that the market works in these patterns, okay? Does that make sense to everybody? Where it's a system, it's a repeatable system. We do it over and over again. So what I did right there is I just showed you in a theoretical model right here, okay, of how we do this, okay? So let me just go back to my workspace right here, and I'm gonna pick on, let's say that the Euro and the Japanese yen, okay? The Euro and the Japanese yen, okay? Just wanna make sure how I'm doing for time. Let's see. Okay, so we've got this. So I'm gonna clean this up, and we can do this manually if we wanted to. We can do this manually if we want to, okay? So I can find my Fibonacci and I can put it on here and I can go, and then I've got it. So I've got my entry. Okay, came back, we've got our entry, and then down here we have our target, okay? And then we do it again, and we do it again, and we do it again. And this is an example right here on this one. I have this range finder. So we made 98 pips in this first trade, okay? But there's another tool that I want to show you, okay? I'm going to just clean up my screen right here, okay? So this is the trade, this is right here, but we don't have to do it all manually, okay? We don't have to do these all manually. We have something here called Smart Tools. So we've got Smart Fibonacci, okay? So it will find and it will set up these trades for us all automatically, okay? So you can put it on here and you can look at all these different opportunities. Excuse me just a moment. When I shrunk down, okay, there we go. So when we go on here, you can go on here, and this is an example that if I had time, I can show you this, but you can see here's one Fibonacci, here's two, here's one trade, here's two trades, here's three trades, here's four trades, here's five trades, here's six trades in a row, and right now we're still in the seventh trade, okay? And I actually added this all up. I'm just gonna do some real quick math for you. But this is just a real quick, normally what I would do is on each of these trades, I would go in individually and we could take a look at it and we can see what we generated. Oh, sorry about that. So using the rangefinder, this is just an example. We've got over 600 pips on these 6 trades, okay? Another example, we've got the British pound US dollar, okay? So that was kind of the first one that I talked about before. So here would be another example that at the beginning of this trend, again, you can do this all individually, but up here we have these smart tools, okay? All I have to do is click on Smart Fibonacci, and then right here, click on it, and it sets up all the Fibonacci's for us automatically. So let me just kind of show you these trades that we have right here, okay? So we have an entry here, and we got out right there. So that's our first trade. We've got the second one. We got in here, and we got out there. That's our second trade. And then we have a third trade. That. Okay, oh, 1 trade, 2 trades, 3 trades, got in there. And then we got out right up there. Does everybody look at this? And I apologize, right now I'm going quick. And the reason being is during the training, you're gonna understand how to use this. You're gonna understand how to use all the different tools, okay? Does everybody understand that concept? That I went quick. Right now, I literally did, 6 hours, 8 hours of instruction in about 30 minutes to show you how to do this. But I just want you to understand that with a little bit of practice, with a little bit of dedication, okay, you can learn how to do this. What I want to show you is when I take these 6 pairs, okay, I was talking about these pairs, what I did earlier, just because I knew I wouldn't have time to go through everything, I went through and I looked at in the last 2 weeks to 30 days, I just the 6 major pairs we're looking at. So the top left, this is the British pound US dollars between 1, 2, 3, it looks like we had 4 trades. You would have made 396 pips of profit. That would be $3,960 on a standard lot. The second one here, trading the euro Japanese yen, that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trades. You would have generated 581 pips, and that would be over $5,800 on a standard lot. On the Australian dollar, Canadian dollar, in about 10 days time, this would have been 10 trades. You would have generated 444 pips. That's $4,400 of profit on a standard lot. Down here in the lower left, we have the Canadian dollar, Japanese yen. 3 trades, you would have generated 361 pips, $3,600 on the standard lot. The next one, the British pound, the Kiwi, the New Zealand dollar, 6 trades would have generated a whopping 1,291 pips, or over $12,000 on a standard lot. And the third one, the Euro Australian dollar, 5 trades, over 500 pips, over $5,000. The reason I'm showing you this is on any given day, on any given week, you're probably going to have 1 or 2 or 3. You could have as many as 6 trades going on the different currencies, but you don't have to limit yourself to just one. What we do is we look at the 5 or 6 pairs, we find the best trades, and those are the ones that we're putting on. But right here, if you add this all up, let's just say the average here seems to be about 500 pips times the 6 different pairs. That's 3,000 pips a month, okay? And ladies and gentlemen, that's not even trying. That's just following this. You can do more, you can do less, but that's 3,000 pips plus right here on the 6 pairs that typically we look at uncommon. Does that part make sense? Okay, the different type of potential. And then right now, again, I'm going to be talking about this in a little bit, but we have some absolutely huge potentials. We've got Tyson Clayton, who tonight is going to be doing a special session. Is anybody here that would like to trade live or follow the trades of a 17-year veteran? And he's going to show you how to do this. So here's 4 major pairs in the Brexit that we're following. And we're expecting over 1,600 pips of movement. We've had a big movement. There's going to be more coming, but there's just so much movement, and we're expecting this in about the next 2 weeks. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. Lasantha, again, thank you very much for that. Holly, Kimberly, good. Thank you for the comments. Again, hopefully this is making sense. Does this make sense? On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 people, I understand the basics of this. 1 being, I am totally lost. Could those of you that are listening to me, could you just put in, what your basic understanding of what we're talking about? Because if you understand even the basics, you can understand why we are so excited about this, okay? People that get into it, they take action. It's a skill set. You get better and better and better at it with time. Now understand, I've covered a lot of material in whatever this is, 30, 40 minutes, okay? With a little bit of education, with our mentorship program, with the different aspects of our program, you're gonna get a much better understanding of it, okay? So hopefully that makes sense. So let me go back to my slides right here. Okay, now let me ask you this question. Okay, good. So I have one person said, thank you so much. This is so educational. Very good. And I want you to understand, if this has been educational in just 30 minutes, imagine what it would be like if you've got more time and you can learn a little bit every day, and you have a coach and you have a mentor and you have traders and you have instructors, because that's what we're talking about right here. Okay, does that make sense for everybody? So with what I've showed you, I've showed you an example. You can make 3,000 pips a month just trading 6 pairs. But let's say you're not going to do that. Is anyone here that thinks that they could generate just 20 pips a day? Not 100, not 200, not 500. But is there anyone here that thinks they could, on average, just generate just 200 pips a day? Because in a month's time, that's 400 pips. Okay? So that'd be 400 pips. Anyone? Good. I've got you. John, thank you. Yes, you think so. Kenny? Yeah, Kenny thinks he could easily do over 1,000 pips a month. Curtis, Lindsay, Clayton, thank you very much. So let's just say, though, all you do is 20 pips a day. You're trading a mini lot where you make $1 a lot. That's $400 a month, okay, of extra income. Now, is that a life changer? You know, probably not, but it could be that nicer car. It could be paying down some bills, paying down some debts. But let's just say all you do is you do the exact same thing, but now instead of trading a mini lot, you trade a standard lot. Does everybody remember on a standard lot, each pip is worth $10, okay? So you generate 20 pips a day, 400 pips a month times $10. Now you're generating an extra $4,000 a month, okay? Now, is that a life changer for you? I know for a lot of people, that's already getting there. But does it take any more energy to hit the one button on your computer than it does the two? And the answer is no. So I'm saying now, let's say it's 6 months down the road, a year down the road. I don't care if it's 3 years down the road, but you're getting this. You're getting confident. You're having the success. So now when you trade 2 standard lots, you make just 20 pips a day on a monthly basis. That's $8,000 a month. That's about $100,000 a year. And now you're able to stop working for your money, and you're able to work, and you can let your money work for you. Now, here's $1 million question that I'd like to ask you. Is there anyone here that thinks that they could dedicate 30 to 45 minutes a day so that you could learn how to do this, so that you could earn this extra $4,000, $6,000 per month? Is there anyone here that thinks that? Put yes, if so. And I'm talking about not giving up your life or turning your world upside down. If this is you, put me in the chat. Yes. So James asked, you mean you could trade 2 standard lots? Yeah, it's like 2 lots or 3 lots or 4 lots. And let me tell you, I've seen people, when you get more successful, you might want to trade 10 lots once you know what you're doing. Okay. So let me ask you this question. Is this something you're serious about wanting to learn? Okay. If it is, here's what I'm going to ask. Do me a favor, put in your telephone number in the chat box. Because what we're going to have is I'm going to have either myself or one of our education specialists. We're going to be able to follow up with you and talk about what it means to be a student here at MTI, what the mentorship programs, and to see if it's a fit for you. Is that fair enough? So if you like seeing what you're doing, we can go ahead and do that, because let me tell you, we have a lot of successful students. I've got Trish here in the lower left-hand corner. She does a great job. She just banked 1,200 pips last week. Okay, I've got Christopher. He made 586 pips this week, and his account went up 9.5%. Is that making sense for everybody? Okay, so I've got people that are asking me, hey, this sounds great. Tell me more. What do I do? For those of you that see value in this program and are interested in finding out what it takes to go to this next level, please put in your number in the chat box. Okay, so Rosie, I've got you. Thank you. Sonia. Okay, Sonia, I've got you. Edith, thank you for your phone number. Lorena, thank you. Timothy, thank you for your number. I've got that, Kathy. Because here's what's going to happen. We want to have a discussion with you. We want to see if this is a fit for you, okay? We have a program. It's called the Ultimate Traders Package. It is a combination of education, software, and mentorship. It is a three-prong, it's like a jack, thank you've got your number. Think of a chair. You need all components. You need a proper education, proper software, and proper mentorship. Now with our program, with the Ultimate Traders package, here's what you get. The first thing you get is you get live classes. This isn't the online university. This is live classes. We offer this periodically. We've got one coming up in a week. Actually, I take the back. One is starting tomorrow. Is there anybody that would like to start a class tomorrow? We've got, I think, a few seats left. So it's a 2-day program that teaches you how to do this. You can ask your questions. Now you can attend this either online or on site, and you can attend this as often as you like. We also have the online university. That's the foundation classes. That's the one that I'm saying at your leisure. Watch at nighttime, do during the daytime, go through them, get the basics down. The ultimate charting software, that was the software that I showed you. Now, for people that become a student, we give this to you for the first 6 months. That's a bonus that we provide for new students. After that, you don't have to keep it. You can continue to trade off your own brokerage firm. If you want to stay here and continue to trade with it, you definitely can. But we provide that as a tool. I didn't even have time about automation. Is there anybody here that likes the thought of when you figure out your system to put in an automation where it will seek out those trades and automatically put them forth? That's what we have. We have something called the Automation Trading Factory. We have the Pro Traders Checklist. You know, I ran out of time and I keep on doing this, but before you take a trade, we always recommend you go into that trade and you score it, okay? We have a scoring system. It's called a Traders Checklist. Again, it's proprietary. So you go through, you put in all the information. Yep, it's got that, it's got that, it's got that, it's got that, it's got that. You want to evaluate it. Hey, I've got an 85% chance of success. Probably say, go ahead and do this. Let's say another time you go in and evaluate a trade, and this time it's only showing a 55% chance of being success. You probably say, let's not do that trade, okay? So that is another question. Somebody said, hey, I'd like to start with the online university. You know, and quite frankly, if you can do the live classes and it works in your schedule, do that, fantastic. Otherwise, the online university, as soon as you are a student, you get immediate access. We have many people that as soon as they get it, they start taking them. So James, I'm with you on that one. Daily live webinars, training sessions, educational sessions every single day. You can trade live with us. We have the Chief. The Chief is still very active today, okay? He has a weekly mentorship program. You're gonna have other people to work with, but the Chief is also going to personally work with you in his fast track mentorship program. You are also assigned an individual personal coach to help you through this. This is not a call center, this is an individual coach. And this last item, I wish I had time to go through this in detail. This is called our Analyst on Demand. It is a 24-hour-a-day trading room. Does anybody like the idea of no matter when you want to look at trades, no matter when you want to put them in, you could go into a trading room and you can bounce ideas off of other experts. You can have them verified. This is what we're talking about. This is 9 different components of this, okay? And people are asking, hey, what kind of success have our students have? Well, this is in documented accounts. This is real accounts. Our students have generated in real money trading accounts, not paper money, but real accounts. They have generated over 575,000 pips in the last 4 months. That's $5.7 million based on just one standard lot. And again, I think it was James or somebody saying that, yes, you can trade multiple lots. And once you get successful, many people do get to that level. When I put all the individual components together, if we did it all of cart, there would be the individual cost involved. If we did all 9 of those components together, the cost in the total program would be over $13,000. Now, I want to let you know, we have a bundled program here, so I don't want you to do that one. But let me ask you something. Imagine if it would also be backed by money back guarantee. That's what we're having. Anyone who chooses to become a student here, we give you a 100% satisfaction guarantee, a 60-day money back guarantee. This is how confident, this is how strong we believe in our program, okay? That if you go forward with it, you try it. If after 60 days you're saying, I've done this, it's not working, you get all your money back. So ladies and gentlemen, I cannot think of a better price, a better way how to do this. Now the regular price, if you did it the a la carte, it's $13,865, plus we give you some extras, okay? We have an online price for this of $7,995. Now I want you to understand, This price is going up in May 1st, so you only have a few days left. So the price is going up, but right now that price is $7,995. But we have a special promotion for everybody here that's on the Inspiration webinar. You can get this whole package for a 25% price reduction. It's going to bring it down to $5,995. Now, for those of you that say, I'm not sure, I'd like information, I'd like to get questions on it, whatever, we understand that one. What we'd like you to do is put your number in the chat box. By doing so, you are not committing to anything, but what you're saying is you're going to talk to somebody, either myself or somebody here at Market Traders Institute, about the program, what it means, how the guarantee works, how the mentorship programs. Now, also for those of you that take advantage, we have that special session tonight. It's the last chance pound breakout. It's a special session tonight at 7 p.m. It gives you the opportunity to earn while you learn. Now, I've got Billy asking me about payments. Yes, we do have a payment program. If you want to pay it off in full, you can definitely do that. If you want to make payments on it, we also have that. I've got Toby asking, do we accept credit cards? Yes, you can put it on one credit card, two credit cards. We're going to work with you. And if you put in your phone number, we're going to talk about the different options. Again, for everyone that chooses to start, okay, for anyone who's ready to start, anyone who's ready to go to that next level, put in your phone number so we can have that conversation with you to see if it's that. And you're going to get, for anyone who chooses to enroll, you're going to be able to access the special session tonight. For those of you that take action, you're going to be able to trade live with Tyson Clayton. And this is where we're expecting 1,600 pips in the next 2 weeks. So Alex, thank you for your phone number. Colleen, I've got you. Howard, I've got you. Carol, got your phone number. Philippi, I see you've got yes. I'm not sure if I had your phone number before, but if you did that, could you please go through? Now, many of you are saying, I've got one person saying, you really need this Ultimate Traders software package. It is an incredible program. And again, with all of our programs, with this program, you get that 60-day money-back guarantee, okay? Either way, you're protected. You can get into the program. You can kick the tires. Imagine if any of the other education you've looked at in life, if you could have gotten into it and if after 60 days, you said, you know, this isn't working for me. I want my money back. We allow you that opportunity. We just ask that you give it an honest effort. And if it doesn't work out for you, you can. And the reason we offer this is we are so confident of the program that you're going to see it's generating it. You can trade live with us, okay? So with the program, you get the 100% satisfaction guarantee, okay? If you've ever thought of learning how to do Forex and you didn't know where to do it, my recommendation is to go through this program. Go through the training, go through the education, go through the webinars, go through the live trading, and go through the program. And if after 60 days, it's not meeting your needs, you don't see the success, you have a way to get out and get all your money back, okay? So with the program, you're gonna get that special session tonight, that last chance pound breakout. So I've got Francis, I've got your phone number, thank you very much. Sophie, I've got you. Larry, thank you. Samantha, I've got you. Terry, thank you, I've got you, okay? So you're gonna get the daily live webinars, and this is live trading. Tyson Clayton, Joshua Martinez, Gary, Ted, we have all the experts. Every day they are finding setups for you. They are finding trades for you, okay? You get a personal coach that's gonna work with you. We don't even have a price on that one. It's hard to put a price on it, but you can call in, you can ask the questions. You've got the special session tonight where you can trade live right now. We've got some big movements going on. And also, I'm gonna throw in another promotion. For any of you that have the ability that you were thinking of doing a one-time payment, we're gonna give you an additional 6 months of charting software. So you get it for a full year. That's another $1,500. So this is over $5,000 worth of extras that you have, okay? Now, here's what I'd like to do, okay? What I'm gonna do is I wanna give you a little bit of a secret about success, okay? You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great, okay? And I know there's many of you that are thinking, I can't do this. And my thing is, yes, you can, and we're so confident of it, we're gonna give you that 60-day money-back guarantee to make sure, to prove to yourself that you can do that, okay? This is something that I found out that I can do. Your thoughts are gonna control your attitude, okay? Your actions control your results control your future, okay? If you were ever thinking about doing this, my recommendation is at the very least to have a conversation, okay? What I'd like you to do is, I know some of you have the ability, if you went forward, to do it as a one-time payment. And if that's you, along with your phone number, I've got a lot of phone numbers I should be calling. Jan, I've got you. Paulette, thank you. Pete, Kathy. If you are looking at going forward with the program, or you're leaning towards it, okay, what I'd like to do is I'd like you to put in the option that you're leaning towards. If you're leaning forward towards doing a one-time payment, put an option A along with your telephone number. And what that does, it gives you some of the special promotions, it gives you the full year. But if you're leaning more towards a payment plan, again, this is not committing yourself, but if you think if you moved forward that you're leaning towards the option B and paying as you go, then along with this, I'd like you to put an option B in the chat box. Okay, so Esther, I've got you as a B. Elena, I've got you as an A. Sherman, I've got you as an A. Della, I've got you as a B. Okay, so remember, if you do pay in full, you're going to receive a full year of the charting software at no additional charge. Now, some of you have already put in phone numbers, and now I know you put in your A or B. If you wouldn't mind, if you could just confirm, you can put in confirm in the chat box, or just put confirm and your option, your telephone number. That way we know for sure which option you're leaning towards. And those of you, I've got a couple who've said, hey, I'm ready to get started. I want to start right now. Well, here's what I've got in. We've got a bunch of people right now that are expressing interest, that are education specialists, are going to be following up with you. But if you want the ability to jump to the front of the line, and you want to get in tonight, and you want to get in and take advantage of that special session tonight, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you the opportunity to take an extra $500 off. And this will be on either option A or B, okay? If you call us. So in the chat box, put in call in, and you can call us right now, okay? And with that, you will still get that 60-day money-back guarantee, okay? So with the program, you're gonna get the Fast Start training. Now, if you want, we've got a session, an online session that's actually starting tomorrow. We've got 4 seats left. We've got 4 seats left if you wanna do this, okay? If you wanna take advantage of this, we can still get you signed up on this. You're gonna get all the components. You're gonna get the on-site training. You're gonna get the online university. You're gonna get, I didn't even talk about the chief alerts. The chief, when he sees things, he's gonna be sending out alerts to you, okay? We've got so many students that have said so many things. Katrina right here, she was gonna go to law school. She'd never heard of Forex before. She went to class and it completely changed her life, and she got started. The software I've been talking about, you get the ultimate charting software, the automation trading factor, the trader's checklist, okay? The mentorship program. If I can see, if you can have this, this is incredible. John right here, he's a 92-year-old that's learned how to do this, okay? And if he can do it, you can do it. So with all the extras we're talking about, you're probably looking at about a $19,000 program for the cost we're talking about. Kevin Harrington, what would Kevin do? Well, this is what Kevin has done. He's gotten started with a program, okay? We've got so many people. So again, if you're looking at option A or option B, please go into this. Now, I've only got about 2 minutes left. And I know there are many of you that are looking at this and thinking about it and you're on the fence, okay? So let me ask you this. What if there was a way where you could get this for free? Would you be willing to do it for free? If you could get the entire program we're talking about for free, would you do it? And for the next 90 seconds, here's what I'm gonna do. We've got 10 spots that we can do for free. What I'd like you to do is in the chat box, I'd like you to type in your phone number and the word free. If you'd like to learn how you can get the complete program, the Ultimate Traders Package, for free. Now we've got a limit of 10, so I've got some names already coming in. So I've got Billy, good, we've got Billy, you're number 1. Terrence, we've got you number 2. So ladies and gentlemen, if you're looking at the program, if you've ever been thinking about doing it, get your questions answered. Get in the program, and in the chat box on the right, okay, you can see where you can put in either option A, option B, or free. I've only got about 60 seconds left here, and after that time, we're gonna run out. So if you'd like to find out more, if you just wanna have your questions answered, if you're not even sure if this is for you, if there's just a 5% chance that you think this is something that you would want to do, please do it. So Nitin, I've got you. James, I've got you. Ken, I've got you. For Alex, I've got you for free. Alex, if you could please confirm your phone number, I've got you. So Dominic, I've got you for free. Vincent, I've got you as well. Darlene, I've got you. So with this, I'm going to be closing on this portion. So Mason, I've got you as well. Byron, I've got you. So if not this, then what? If not now, then when? This is a program that you've been looking for your entire life. Okay, Timothy, I've got you for free. Paul, I've got your phone number. Thank you very much, Paul. I've got you listed for free. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've been looking at investing, if you've been looking at trading, this is the way to go ahead and do it.